in a world of options, many of those not affordable, being there to provide a valuable option for food for families is something that I'm really excited about, how we contribute to our communities in that way. And that needs to continue to be really important for us.
Welcome to the Prosper Brief. Today we're diving into the future of the food service industry with Christopher Thomas Moore, Chief Digital Officer at Domino's, and Maria Zhang, CEO and co-founder of Proactive AI Lab. Get ready for some insights on innovation, technology, and what's next for the industry.
Welcome to Prosper Brief. Today we're fortunate to have Christopher Thomas Moore from Domino's and Maria Zhang from Proactive AI. And I'm here with Justine Malama from Prosper. And I'm Anthony Zoller.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
This is great. Thanks for taking time out of the busy forum here today to have the discussion. Christopher, let's start with you. And if you could tell us a little bit about what you do for Domino's, what you've got your eye on right now, some issues facing the industry, where you think it's going.
Yeah, so hello everyone, Christopher Thomas Moore. Most people call me CTM, Chief Digital Officer at Domino's. Been there for 6 years.
Amazing.
And in the role of Chief Digital Officer, I have responsibility for really all of our technology within our experiences. So from a consumer standpoint, all of our e-commerce, our loyalty program, our targeted offers and personalized offers that we do. And then on the store side, all of our point of sale, all the technology that's helping drive our operation inside.
Amazing.
Also have the responsibility for our international e-commerce efforts, and then our customer care groups also sit within my organization.
Wow.
As far as areas of focus, there are just so many.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, okay.
Everything is on the list. But, I think what I'm really excited about, and, you're perfect for this conversation because the conversation of AI has been, one that has become way more popular, but it's something that really in practice has been around for a while, right? Because really AI is everything from machine learning to generative, and in that though, we've been doing a lot, but I feel like there's new technology foundations that provide the opportunity finally
100%.
For us to realize this promise of personalization and one-to-one marketing that we've never been able to do.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to be on the earlier side of that to help figure out how we mold that, drive the business as a result of that. From a challenge standpoint, I think we're all in this economy that is strapped right now.
Yes.
From an inflation standpoint, and just the cost of doing business, the cost of living is more expensive. And so for me, value has been really important. It's something that we as a brand at Domino's have really leaned into because we understand the importance that it means for our consumer, right? And in a world of options, many of those not affordable, being there to provide a valuable option for food for families is something that I'm really excited about, how we contribute to our communities in that way. And that needs to continue to be really important for us.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
And now Maria.
Yeah.
Let's pass to you.
First of all, I just want to say I really share the same set of beliefs. I think that's what brought me here.
Good.
I've been working on AI before it was called AI, so totally second that. I think it was called statistical models when I was in school. And I was at Google leading a team of hundreds of engineers working on AI. Before that, I was at Facebook and now called Meta. And also, I'm really envious of your how you call yourself, CTM. And my friends used to call me MZ. But then when I joined Facebook, no, you cannot be MZ because my boss.
It's official, MZ.
That's why you came to this industry. Now you can have it back.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But, with my experience at Facebook and Google, I definitely know technology could help the food and beverage industry.
Yeah.
But with AI, with this next round of evolution, I think technology could help this industry 1,000% more. And that's why, I'm here and really focused on bringing AI, bringing this one-on-one, deeply personal interaction, how you personify a brand, how the customer can really have an engaging conversation with with this brand.
Yeah.
And of course, I'd be invited to have a slice of pizza,
Yeah.
have a nice meal. Yes.
Or that chocolate cake. I was
yes.
about to tell you. I'm like, oh my
Lava
goodness.
cakes are the bomb.
Yeah, we have Domino's
Yeah.
to blame for some waking, but
Yes.
that's all right. Worth every bite.
Maria,
Yeah.
from the AI perspective, what do you think the next step is then with the technology? We've been talking about AI a lot. It's a trend in the industry, but what are you guys working on, and where do you see this going? Not just the next year, like what's your looking out 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we all had that experience playing around with a ChatGPT or Gemini or the Meta AI.
Yes.
So we all
Yes.
kind of had that firsthand experience. But then, can this AI kind of help us professionally? Can it increase the productivity overall? Can it change the consumer experience? Right?
Okay.
Because I can have a very long and in-depth conversation with ChatGPT, but then when I call customer support, I still get press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Right?
Okay.
It's like freaking like very old
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So there is a disconnect there. And
Yeah.
I think this is where my company, a group of us, came together and really want to close this gap and really bring this technology to reality to businesses.
Okay.
So this is one side. What we're focusing on is actually we built a high EQ AI model, right? And we relentlessly focus on this because we think the world needs a high EQ AI. And not in a way just compete. I can win the chess master, like the AI models are getting so smart, like insanely smart, right? Perfect score, SAT, GMAT, have a law degree and everything, right? Almost like a scary kind of way.
Yeah.
But we build a high EQ human-like AI model you would enjoy having a conversation with. And then with that, if you think about it, okay, this model is very high EQ. Where can this model thrive and have a good productivity? Is this industry?
Okay.
It's about hospitality. It's about that one-on-one relationship building and that other layer of engagement, that other layer of storytelling that brings this brand to life.
Yes.
And if I can just jump in,
Please.
even though
Yes, you.
Please, please.
I really am excited about that, and I'm excited about the work that you're doing because I feel like, as we kind of hit the hype cycle of this topic of AI,
Yeah.
a lot of brands were rushing towards AI, but not the business problem that you could solve. And it was just, can we have proof points that we're in the game, that we're doing this,
Yeah.
right? And I've luckily have a lot of exposure to a lot of people in this industry and can, have sat on a number of panels on this topic. And I feel like there was an awakening of, okay, we've checked the box, but what is the value that it's added, right? And I think brands are now stepping back to say, what are the business challenges and is AI appropriate for that, right? And as we get to more human-like interactions, I think we'll find a lot more places where AI can actually really serve a role in eliminating and removing some of the burden. And what we really look at is the cognitive load burden that happens in our stores and how can we enact AI to pull that out so that we could redeploy it in other places, right?
Yeah. So give
But-
me an example.
Yeah, so like,
Because-
working at a Domino's, there's a lot of different things that you think about, right? Got to pull the dough out so that it's perfectly, ready to make pizzas. I got to think about the routing and where am I sending our drivers to be as efficient as possible, right? I have all of these different things that are going in my head at any time as I'm running the operation of the store. And if we can help eliminate some of that burden, then that's a
Okay.
win for everybody because I can redeploy that thought process to building a better culture,
Okay.
focusing on operational excellence and all these other areas. So
Yeah.
it just provides the ability to re-navigate and redeploy
Okay.
some of that energy in our stores.
And it's a lot of this grunt work, the manual work that right now that I'm seeing technology helping take off of the employee's plate. And actually, we had somebody else on earlier today, just basic technology to make the workplace safer too.
Yes.
Pumping out the oil from a fryer, things like that. And I think that's where it starts. But ultimately, and I'll start with CTM, like, what would you want? What's your wish list in 15 years from now? AI or other technology? What what do you see this? Where do you see it going? And then I'll turn to Maria on that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like there's a high opportunity for a better and personalized experience for both our team members in the store as well as for our customers, right? And I feel like in 15 years, we're going to be able to leverage rich data, which is going to be the real base of it all, to then deploy really amazing experiences that are edifying to both cohorts, right?
Okay.
And I'm excited what that means for us in the future, right? How much of a better pizza experience our customers can have when our team members have a better experience, and then we deliver an amazing order to their home, right? And so like the future, I think, is really exciting. But I think technology like this is providing the promise that we've been talking about for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think probably in a short period of time, in the next few years, especially with company like Domino's are very innovative, very technology advanced, that some of the status quo will become obsolete, right? For example, we were talking about drive-through. What is a drive-through? It's a microphone and a speaker, right? We all have a microphone and speaker in our pocket, right? Also, a lot of stores have this invested in this large kiosk touch screen, right? That thing apparently is very fragile and it's quite expensive. We all have a little touch screen in our pocket, right? So if with the interactive AI agents, right, you could have a conversation as if you're talking to a real person. I think a lot of these experiences that are very normal and everyday will become obsolete very quickly, and then we can have actually a deeper relationship with the brands that we love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to add to that, on the flip side, what do you feel about the concerns of AI replacing jobs?
You know, I feel it's not kind of where I immediately go to when I think about AI. I think that there are a lot of efficiencies and benefits, but I think and I use that intentionally as far as the redeployment of cognitive load, because there's just so much that we could do to improve our operations and experiences for our customers. And sometimes what prevents that are all the other things that we got to think about, we got to do, right? And if AI can help improve that, then I'm literally looking for a better work environment, a better culture that AI can help provide. So I'm really excited about how it builds and improves more so than it replaces. Because I think that I feel that there's always going to be the human factor part of the experience. Like, I don't see that going away. And so I think that let's ground those experiences where they matter. Right? And that's what we can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. This technology actually can make the employees' experience better. I actually have visited restaurants and pizza shops that were adopting the proactive AI agents, and they were so happy because one is just human nature. When there's a long line, we all get stressed and a little agitated, right? And then it doesn't matter how productive you are, you cannot talk to 5 people, 50 people at once, right? And then some also are hated when the phone rings, because I'm doing something and then the phone rings, and of course they can't respond text that customer sent, right? I can't be sitting in that corner and respond text. They were like, have AI agent answer the phone call, respond the text, and can talk to 5 customers, 50 customers all at once. So I can focus on taking care of the customer that's in front of me.
I think that's what's so amazing to think about. It's actually, an asset, a value, a teammate almost, right? An additional teammate to offset some mental load rather than taking away from your job.
100%.
It's being like having your own personal assistant, which we all need.
Now, Maria, you mentioned text messaging, CTM from Domino's perspective. Do you see that the consumer moving to text and placing orders through text, feedback through text? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, now that we're in the Chapel of Notre Dame with all
I know. Excuse the bells. I know.
I don't even not make eye contact. I'm like, stop the chimes. I'm texting.
No, it's good. It's
The chimes have to stop.
the general session is starting at the forum.
And I figured it
literally
was
on
my
the floor.
sister. I literally thought it was my sister. So I'm like, we need to stop.
But mobile is increasingly important. It's where most of our digital transactions are coming, right? So SMS and push are important because they're intimate ways of communicating directly to you through your personal device. And so it's something that you generally read more than you do email. It's something that catches your attention more. So the space of mobile, I think, will become increasingly important. But I 100% agree with you is that mobile device also from a store operation standpoint becomes even more important, right? Because now you can do all of your core functions through that mobile device, right? You have this personal assistant on the road with you wherever you go. And so I think the role of mobile in the restaurant space will become even more important than it is today.
Okay, great. Any other thoughts on that, Maria, where the text is going? I mean, your technology is built on that, right? The text interface, so you feel strongly about that. What's after texting? Have you thought about that? What's next?
Yeah.
Is our text message going to be so spammed like our email inboxes now?
I know.
That nobody reads? I know.
The email.
We're getting there already,
It's
right?
so aggressive.
But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think the device continues to evolve. It has more compute power. It will be better connected. With more bandwidth. I think there's also another wave of evolution in the interaction, right? Back in 2010, I left my job as a director at Microsoft and started a startup called Alike, and it was actually recommending local restaurants, coffee shops, and the company was acquired by Yahoo. I ended up supporting the Yahoo mobile team, and Yahoo back then had 10 apps from weather to news and so on and so forth. And now I think we all know there's just like explosion, like millions and millions of apps, right, in the app store. So I do feel like the app is, becoming more and more challenging, right? So, as brand and application developers, we're all thinking, what's next, right? For a company like Google and Meta, they have the superpower, right, to make they call the super app, right? Just does everything, right? But I do think a lot of the business are moving away from apps. It's just very expensive to maintain, and you're not getting the engagement, you're not getting the download, and then what's next?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now what I heard from actually Data Delivers is that the touch rate of returning customers for like a first-time restaurant and then coming back is that 90%. So if someone came in 2023, it's 10% likelihood that they would come back. Why is that? And how do you change that? I know you have, so.
It sits within part of my responsibility from a retention standpoint, having ownership for our loyalty programs and things like that. And really, I mean, there's so many factors, right? When you think about just the experiences that you've had with, first time you've gone to a store or a restaurant, there are some expectations that are set going through those doors, going into that order. And when those aren't met, right, you have a really low bar to say, no, thank you. I won't be back, right?
Yeah.
You've not committed, invested a ton of dollars. You most likely haven't joined the loyalty program, probably haven't downloaded the app at that point, right?
Correct.
So you generally, especially from a first-time visit standpoint, if those expectations aren't hit, you make your decisions with your wallet, right? And then so it's our responsibility as the operators and the franchisors to deliver an experience that drives reason for you to come back, provides a strong value proposition, provides a great experience, great product, right? Those are the things that are going to drive the retention more so than anything else that, I could do from my team standpoint. But then having a loyalty program that makes it easy for them to get on board. And if they see that value proposition and the promise of what the brand can deliver, then you have this loyalty program that now is giving you value for that delivery of something that's actually already good. Like that's where we want to be, right? That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard because there are a lot of options. There are a lot of areas where things go wrong. You don't have control over it all, right? And so, we do all of these acquisition efforts, and if at the end of the day we don't deliver that experience and that expectation that's set, it all falls apart, right? And so it's about thinking about all of the operation, and that's why technology really is no longer just a consumer experience, right? It's about the full operation, from the acquisition of that individual, following them through to that second order, and how does it work for the business in different ways.
Okay. Yep.
But it all could fall apart really easily.
I know. You have so much on the line. So
much.
stressful. The odds are against you.
It's a very
And yet
complex
here we are.
business.
It is very complex.
And it's amazing, these operators, how much they have to know to run a
100%.
business and keeping up with the technology. Technology is one aspect on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Best practices, regulatory issues, compliance, legal.
It's so much to run an operation, to run a franchise location. You are an entrepreneur and you're thinking about all aspects of that business, top to bottom. I'm really super excited about the metric of the fact that at Domino's, well over 90% of all of our franchisees started off as a delivery driver or working on the inside of our store. They grew up through these brands, right? And through our brand. And but the level that it takes to be a franchisor, thinking about, leases and legal disputes and all these things, is insane, and there's so much. So it's a very complex industry. Like getting into the restaurant space, I've enjoyed it so much because I've learned so much. But it's everything from retail and travel where I was before combined and on steroids. So it's a crazy place for me.
To your point, though, I think it draws a certain type of personality, though, too. Like if you don't like doing one thing over and over and over, and you like that diversity, and that's something that drives me too. So the entrepreneur would be driven to the franchise model and have to be dealing with all these different issues throughout the day. As you could speak about too, it's starting your own company, all the issues, facing the startups.
Yeah.
But it's great. Well,
Now, what do you both think of Prosper so far?
I loved it. I loved it. It's my first time
It is your
here.
first
Thank
time.
you so much for inviting me to be part of this amazing summit. I've met wonderful people. And I have to say, like the food and the drink here is a whole other level.
Facts. I agree with that.
And then the personality, right? I think in the past, I've been to a lot of tech conferences, and it's mostly people just like bury their faces in the phone or laptop, and no one wants to talk to anyone. But
I know, Maria, I used to sell software. So I keep having these conversations on the podcast of I'm like, it's just such a different energy and pulling you in. And now that you dipped your toe in, no one's going to let you go.
I loved it.
But I don't want to stop you from answering.
No, I mean, I really appreciate this organization and what it's doing, the vision and the mission that's there, because I do believe that we can build a better table. To come to an event like this, you get to see the cross section of our entire industry in one place, right?
Yeah.
But what I love about it is that, the opportunity here is to make sure that we have, diverse individuals that are the next leaders for these organizations. But it's not just about the talent that has these diverse identities that have to be at the table. It's everybody that has to be at this table. And coming to Prosper, you get to see that. You see the CEOs sitting next to the future VPs talking about how do we drive this overall industry in the next place. The work that's going on here is critical to our future, right? And it's exciting to see these accelerators, the opportunities that they have, the youth of our industry here, and learning about, all the complexities of our industry and all these kind of things, right? And building their networks, because you really are going to see the future leaders of the entire food services category, from this group, and I feel really fortunate to be here. The food and drink is amazing. So, if you want to go somewhere where you eat good, drink good, build good networks, put Prosper on the list for next year.
Absolutely.
Great.
Awesome.
With that,
Thank
we'll
you
end
so
on that
much.
note. Thank you guys so much for your time and taking your time out of the forum to come speak on the podcast, and wish you a good rest of the forum. Don't eat too much.
Already eating too much, but thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Prosper Brief. If you enjoyed this episode with Christopher Thomas Moore and Maria Zhang, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more conversations shaping the future of the food service industry. See you next time here on the Prosper Brief.